What is regular process of learning technology like Kubernetes? The process is simple. We are learning any topic theoretically first, and then we are going for the lab session. But now for today, we are just going to reverse this process. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about one of the topic in the reverse sequence. We will talk about lab first, we will perform lab first, and then we will go for theory. Now you may have this question, why? Don't worry about it. Once you watch this entire video, you will get answer of your why. My name is Bhavesh Atara. Welcome to CloudFox Hub Kubernetes Zero to Hero series. Let's start. As always, if you want to perform lab, you can download CloudFox Workstation. CloudFox Workstation is a smart practice console for Kubernetes. You can go to the description of this video. You will get download link. Just download your CloudFox Workstation and import it inside VMware Workstation. Now once you import it, you will get screen like this. You just need to start it and you will get IP address. You need to add this IP address in your browser and you will get login screen. Now once you get your login screen, if you are using it first time, you need to create your account. I have my account, so I'm just going to log into my CloudFox Workstation console. Inside this, we have 136 labs for Kubernetes. We call it guided lab. Then we have practice lab, 55 plus practice lab, and 30 plus challenge lab we have. But right now, as we are starting our journey, I'm just going to concentrate on guided lab. Today, we are going to perform this lab known as imperative versus declarative in Kubernetes. I know that you don't know anything related to this, but when I will perform this lab, you will get 80% idea about two different ways to perform tasks inside Kubernetes. And once you will understand this, we will understand the differences between these two ways. So I'm just going to select this lab number 5 and let me click on Start Lab. Now when you will click Start Lab, it will create Kubernetes environment for you. So it will take almost 30 to 40 seconds and you will get all your tasks ready. So here my lab has been started and in this particular lab we have 9 steps. Now what I'm doing, I'm going to perform all these steps with detail. So this is the first command. Now if you look at this command, we are using this command from day 1. Kubectl run demo pod image equal to nginx. So I want to create one pod, I want to use nginx image, and we are using this kind of command from day 1, and this is actually imperative way. Here we are executing command directly and Kubernetes is creating whatever the resources they want to create. So the traditional way of creating resources inside Kubernetes is imperative, right? We have command, we are just giving this command to create our resources, and we have just created one pod, demo pod imperatively. Now don't worry about what is pod, because what is pod that we will talk about in upcoming days. Right now, just concentrate on the way we are creating this pod. Okay, so if you don't know anything about pod, you don't need to worry. Now here we have another command. We are going to verify this pod. We just created this pod imperatively, so we are just going to verify. Now pod has been created, pod status is running, so everything is good. And now I'm going to delete this command. Now delete this pod. And here I'm using again imperative way to delete this pod. Okay, so now pod has been deleted. And if you want to verify this, we can also use same command, kubectl get pods, and now we don't have this pod. I hope you understand this first way. It is an imperatively created pod, and the command is kubectl run demo pod -- image equal to nginx. So in this particular pod, I want to create, like I want nginx image. Now we are just going to create same pod using different way, and this way is called declarative way. In the declarative way, the first point is you have to create YAML file. Okay, so you have to create YAML file, and this is a command which is going to create YAML file. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here. And once I will press enter, it will create one file, pod.yaml. You can also open this file, get pod.yaml, and this is actually content of the file. Now this content is actually written through the YAML, and in the YAML we have all the key value pair base data. If you look at over here, in the kind we have pod. It means we want to create pod. The name of the pod will be declarative pod, and same way here we've specified nginx image. So here we said that we want to use nginx image, right? So instead of giving command directly, we created YAML file first. Right now I have this YAML file in my system. I can see this using ls command. So I have this pod.yaml file, but now from this file I want to create pod. Okay, so what I will do, after creating this, we will use this. Now look at this, the command is actually different. It is kubectl, then we have apply, then -f is saying that apply this from this file. -f means specific file, and we have pod YAML already created. So now if I will press enter, it will create new pod. This time pod name would be different. It is a declarative pod created, means the pod name would be declarative pod. So if you want to use declarative way, you have to create YAML file first, and then you have to use command kubectl apply -f and then the YAML file name. In upcoming days, we will create service, deployment, everything using YAML file. The command syntax would be same. Kubectl apply. Okay. Now we created this pod and I want to verify. So I'm going to give command kubectl get ports, and here I am getting this. Yes, I have this pod status is running, and the pod name is actually declarative pod. So that's the same process. So if you want to delete this, you can use like this, kubectl delete -f, and we are giving this file pod.yaml. Keep this in mind, pod.yaml file must be there in your system, and now it is going to delete this. So we created pod using declarative way and imperative way. The main difference is, in the declarative way, we are creating YAML file first, and then we are using this file to create the resources. Okay, now let's verify. Now there is no pod. We deleted this, so everything is good. Look, I am giving you demo, that's completely okay, but if you are just seeing it, it's not good for you. Once you perform lab, you will get better idea about it. And to perform this lab, you have to download CloudFox Workstation. You will get download link into the description of this video. Now, you may have question in your mind. We understood all these two ways, but in which case I have to use which particular way? So for you, I have differences. Now what I am doing, I am going to explain you the differences between these two. Okay. So let's start with the point number 1, meaning we give direct command. We just need to execute the command, and whatever the resources we have added, it is going to create this. Here we need to define YAML file first, and then we are actually going to create resources. Main idea is, when you use imperative style, you are saying that do this now. In the declarative way, this is what I want. You are saying that I have YAML file, read this file, and whatever we have inside YAML file, I want this, right? How we use it? Using kubectl command, we are using directly. Here YAML file is required, and whenever we want to execute this, we are using kubectl apply -f, and then we are providing YAML file name. Here I have example. We use same example in the lab, so I am not going to talk more about it. Best for quick testing, right? You are giving command and you are getting this result. Learning and troubleshooting. But you know, imperative style we are not using in the real world. In the real world, we are always using declarative style. Why? Because we can use it into the production, we can use with CI/CD pipeline, we can use it with the GitOps. So for automation, declarative style is very good. You don't know when you want to create pod, right? Whenever you are going to get new customer, you want to run application for them and you want to create pod. In this case, you will create your YAML file in advance, and whenever the customer will pay you, you are going to create pod for them. So in this case, it will be automatic, and in the automation, declarative style is very useful. Speed, fast, because you are giving command, you are getting result. Here takes more time because we need to write YAML file. This is drawback of declarative way, but there is one positive point as well, reusability. Look, you just executed command, done and dusted, you cannot reuse this. Here you are taking time to create YAML file. That's completely okay. But you can reuse this YAML file again and again whenever you want to create same pod. So reusability is there. Yeah, it is going to take more time while you are creating YAML file first time, and then it would be very smooth operation. And the best part is now we have AI. So using AI, you can write this kind of file very easily. It is also difficult for team to review command later because all the command you have in the history only. Here you have YAML file stored into the Git, so team can review very easily in the declarative style. It is not suitable for version control. Here you have your YAML files. You have all your YAML files. You can add this into the GitHub, GitLab. Team review can be easy. You can already add new lines. You can also roll back this because you will get all the benefit of version control in the declarative style. Here you are not going to get it. Production use not recommended for regular production changes because we want documentation of all the changes that we are doing in the production. It is recommended for production deployment. When you will go for the real world, the companies is actually using YAML file. It would be difficult, but we have to go with the right way. So in upcoming days, when I will teach you Kubernetes advanced topics, I will always use declarative style because I want you to become real world ready, right? I don't want any label on you that I know Kubernetes, but if you will send me into the real world, I am not able to execute any command, right? I don't want you to just get certificate. I want you to understand the entire concept and use how we are using in the real world. And I will teach you everything about Kubernetes in upcoming days. I just want support from you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also we need your support. Okay, now let's go to the next real world use case. If you want to create temporary pod, quick debug, exam practice, we can use this. But for application deployment, repeatable setup, team workflow, we are always using declarative way. Main benefit, imperative style is speed. It is giving speed and simplicity, but for consistency and repeatability, declarative style is the better. And limitation, hard to track repeat. In the real world, we are always tracking everything. So YAML syntax can be confusing. We need to create YAML file, but tracking is actually good when we are using declarative style. And nowadays, because of AI, we can generate YAML file very easily. So this is now not the drawback of declarative style. That's all about the imperative and declarative style. We just use reverse process, and I hope it is actually helping you to understand these two different style of process in the Kubectl. Thank you very much. Don't forget to download CloudFox Workstation because this will provide you practical explanation about all the topics that we are going to learn. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Have a nice day. Goodbye.